thoughts ahead of the 2025 NCAA championships?
Opening thoughts are, we got 8 really excited guys right now, and I think this time of year, I'm pretty good at reading excited versus maybe tired and worn out. So I know mentally we're really excited right now. How that translates, I don't know. I mean, we've got a few guys that are banged up, but I think everybody's got a few guys that are banged up. So, we have to put that out of our mind as athletes and as fans, and understand that's part of the game. So, Evan Bachmann's going to wrestle. He's a little bit banged up. Evan Frost, too many Evans. Evan Frost obviously wasn't at 100% at the Big 12s, but it's getting better and better. So we just got to go and see what happens. But I know mentally and emotionally right now, I really like where these guys are, and I just know they're excited. So you always tell them the biggest date on the calendar is the next date. And this holds true to this one as well.
Sticking with the theme of excitement, how excited were you to see Daniel Herrera get in the field? Yeah,
that was, you never know how those formulas go. Obviously, we kind of saw that in basketball last night, huh?
Yeah.
Mad people yesterday, this morning. So, but we were on the right side of mad with Daniel. We kind of knew he was going to be on the bubble there, but obviously his quality of work and his season held true.
What's it say to have a freshman heavyweight qualify for the NCAA tournament?
That's a testament to Daniel Herrera. I think if you would have told me on November 1st that I'd be standing here in front of you all today and talking about Daniel Herrera qualifying for the NCAA tournament, I would have bet you a lot of money that we wouldn't be having that conversation for a lot of reasons. Obviously, for the injury with Younger Bastida, but also is a true freshman really to jump to dive into heavyweight. At a really, heavyweight's good this year. I mean, all the weights are good, but heavyweight is really good this year. So, it's been a good year and a lot of progress with Daniel.
I believe this is the 7th consecutive season you've qualified 8 or more wrestlers. Did you think that was going to happen with all the injuries earlier in the season?
I can't say that I was disappointed with 8. You always want to try to get a few more guys there. Been doing this a while, and there's been times when, we've taken 8 or 9 and nobody gets to Friday afternoon. So it's better to have 3 that go a long way. So ask me Friday night about 10 o'clock how good those 8 guys are. But, I think it says a lot about, our depth this year. We obviously had some depth this year to finish top 4 in the Big 12 and to qualify 8 guys says a lot about, kind of where we've come to at this point.
Early in the season, we talked about Evan Bachmann and his toughness and his grit, and that's what makes him a great wrestler. How important is that going to be as he goes to NCAAs with battling injury?
Well, luckily, of the 8 guys we've got, he's a 7th-year guy now, which is crazy, but that's the NCAA world we live in. He's the toughest guy we got, the toughest guy. I've asked him a couple times about his knee. He's like, Coach, it's not perfect, but who cares? It's all right. It's fine. Where we have a lot of guys that would be not that wouldn't be the conversation. I'm not picking on them. I'm actually bragging on Evan Bachmann and just his toughness. And he'll figure out how to get his hand raised in Philadelphia. You watch.
You mentioned Evan Frost. What do you want to see out of both of the Frost brothers?
I want to see a first period that they're really ready to go. We're going to make some adjustments. Don't ask me what they are. They're top secret. But we're going to make some adjustments with those guys in kind of their preparation. And let's see if it pays off. But we got to be really ready to go and keep guys off of our legs. I think everybody knows the Frost brothers have got big motors. But we can't fall way behind at this tournament because it's too hard to catch up. These guys are too savvy. And so we got to really make sure we're ready to go. We keep guys off our legs. And keep our defense strong that first period so we really give ourselves a chance at the end.
How pleased are you, and how would you explain the way Aiden Riggins has wrestled since struggling early in the season?
He's gotten better, hasn't he? He
Yeah.
really has. He's gotten better. I thought he had a great Big 12. He's getting confidence. I think he was at the right weight now. He got thrown to the Wolves last year. Had to wrestle at 184, and that's hard on you physically and emotionally when you get thrown out there and you get your brains beat in all the time, and it's not a fair fight. But he's a tough kid. He's not a complainer. I love him. He actually in the practice room has looked really, really good. I just probably need him to step it up a notch when he competes, and I saw a little bit of that at the Big 12. So I'm excited. I'm curious to see how far that guy can go.
How have you seen guys like Chittum and Evan Frost respond to, I mean, mentally just bouncing back from their tournament?
Had some good practices. This morning was our last live practice. Was a real short go this morning, and I've seen those guys bounce back good. I think it's just a matter of, with Evan, getting ready to go and making sure he's physically ready to go. With Cody, just more about emotionally being ready to go. I mean, Cody wants to win so bad sometimes that might be a curse, and that we've just got to get Cody to relax a little bit and just go out there and let it go, have some fun, and I think he'll be fine.
How's MJ Gaitan doing? I know he's a little bit banged up at Big 12.
He actually, it's funny. Saturday when we were warming up, his knee kind of locked up and he could not even get in the referee's position. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to scratch this guy because, he couldn't get in the referee's position. He couldn't get down on all fours. And they got some medication in him, and by Saturday night he started feeling a little bit better. And then Sunday he woke up and he felt a little bit better. We limited his training the first 4 or 5 days we were back after the Big 12s, but after that he's been full steam ahead, full go. He's really in a great place mentally right now. So curious to see. Last year he went to the round of 12. Not many people gave him a chance, and I know he's really. You're going to talk to him, and he might not ever come off as like really, really excited, but I can tell he's excited.
This season compared to previous seasons, what's the biggest difference and maybe some of the similarities?
I think the similarities are, we've got a big group going. The differences is we got some really, really good guys that have eligibility left at Iowa State. They're going to be in the stands watching. And so we got to get those guys out there next year. We got to get those guys out there. We got to be healthy. But I'm telling you, we got a crew of guys that'll be watching. They're pretty darn good.
What does Panero need to do this time to translate a Big 12 title into a really, really strong NCAA?
Well, I always tell Panero he needs to be greedy. We can't be happy with one takedown. We got to go get 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. If he gets 3 or 4 takedowns a match, he's going to be a hard guy to beat. So that's on him to figure that out, and I think he is a little bit more. He's going to be in every match, but we got to figure out a way to separate ourselves sometimes along the way there. So we don't want it to come down to 18 seconds to go to get a takedown all the time, and I think I said that when we left the Big 12s. But I like where he's at right now too. He's in a really good space right now mentally too, and so as a coach, that's what you try to read is where they're at mentally, because we know the physical skills are there with a lot of these guys.
What makes MJ Gaitan such a tough draw for guys? You said it going into Big 12s. You never want to see MJ on your side of the bracket. What makes him such a tough draw?
Well, he's a pinner. He's dangerous. If he can couple that with just some really good, solid wrestling fundamentals, he's gonna, and he's continuing to make those changes. He continues to get better. So, you really gotta be careful, in certain positions with him. And there's a lot of good coaches out there. I'm sure they're gonna coach their guys up in those opportunities they wrestle MJ, but. Like you saw in that one match when he was down 9-0, he's always got a home run in his back pocket.
For you as a coach, how do you handle all of the outside noise of just being in the sport of wrestling? The portal opens Wednesday, and then you have all the chatter of everything going on from leaving Big 12s to who's competing at nationals or not. How do you as a coach stay focused?
Pretty easy right now because we know we got right in front of us. We've got we know what the first round looks like Thursday, so we're going to focus on 8 opponents. Then we're going to go back and get our guys ready to go for Thursday night, and then we hope we get them a bunch of them ready to go for Friday and Saturday. So I think that's the easy part. The hard part is, it's ironic that from Tuesday to Sunday, wrestling coaches have a dead period. That means you can't talk to anybody, call anybody, take any calls. Yet the portal opens on Wednesday. Okay, so go figure that out. Yeah, that's some really solid logic that we're following right there at the NCAA. Yeah, portal's open, but we can't talk to nobody for 4 or 5 days. So there's probably going to be a lot of talking. There's going to be a lot of talking. There's going to be a lot of talking. So.
From the time that you wrestled at Iowa compared to now, how have you seen the sport grow as a whole?
I think it's always been very well attended. I think it's probably a tougher ticket now. I think the media has really, like everything, has enhanced it. So there's just a lot more storylines out there, and there's a lot more knowledge of, personalities, villains, not villains. I think the media's brought mostly good exposure, and so the sport's just had a lot more eyes in the sport. And I think just like every sport, I think the athletes. Compared to 30, 40 years ago are just bigger, faster, stronger. I'd say that's the biggest difference. But, in terms of being ready to go mentally for a national level event, I can tell you that that's the biggest asset you have right now is the confidence, the mental confidence, and the mental just calmness to get out there and do your job. I told our guys this morning, you can't be one of those guys that gets way too high or way too low. You've got to be able to keep an even stream, and you got to have some composure. And the guys that do that, you'll see, do pretty well.